I don't talk much about TWS earphones on this channel, but I think in 2023, this is something that we might have to see more as the whole scene evolves. So today, to kick things off, I was just thinking, why not just do a video on the most popular one in the market that everybody will kinda know. That's right, today we'll be looking at the Apple Airpods Pro Gen 2. Now, everybody knows Apple at this point. I bet if you take a rock and just throw it at some random person, that person will probably have an iPhone or something. I never wanted to talk about the Gen 1, but since we are talking about Gen 2, I thought I would share some of my thoughts on the Gen 1. Now, the Gen 1 to me had an overly aggressive, rough implementation of ANC, which caused me to feel rather nauseous when using it. This is quite off-putting for me as the ear tips provided by Apple basically does as much as a paperweight when it comes to isolation. Also, the original signature on the Gen 1 was quite thinny and lacking in a bit of body. So after I lost my pair, I could not really be bothered to get a new one. And so that is my quick and dirty on the Gen 1. Now coming back to the Gen 2, with regards to build quality, it is actually rather similar to the Gen 1. It features the same IPX4 rating on the earbuds as the Gen 1, but now this also extends to the case as well. So you can accidentally spill some soda on your case. Please don't do that. The shape of the earbuds are kinda the same. I found them quite comfortable but also a little unnerving to wear, with the constant anxiety of losing them because they do not feel like they actually have a strong passive seal like how you get with traditional IEMs. Internally, the Gen 2 has a brand new H2 chip that improves on battery life, noise cancelling, transparency mode, as well as connection stability. The case of the Gen 2 now has also a U1 chip that allows it to have cool features such as location services, which allows it to be found under the Find My iOS app. Pretty handy for someone who constantly, misplace the case all the time, like me. Controls. The Gen 2 features touch controls allowing you to pause music, video with a press on the stem, forward to the next track with a double press, and rewind to the previous track with a triple. Switching between ANC and transparency is also the same as on the Gen 1, just press and hold on the left earbud. The thing about the Gen 2 is that you can also change volume on the Gen 2. All you need to do is to just stroke the stem upwards to increase the volume while stroking it downwards to reduce it. The controls are easy and it becomes muscle memory rather quickly. In terms of connection, the Gen 2 features Bluetooth 5.3, which basically means better connectivity and power management. In real-world usage, I cannot really tell if it's better than the previous BT 5.0 on the Gen 1. Battery life lasts about 5-ish hours on my pair. I tested this on my way back from Japan, which was about a 7-hour flight, and I had to charge them once on the plane. It is important to note that I was using them for a movie with ANC on. Microphone quality, honestly pretty good. Calls were clear according to the poor people who have had the glory to hear me sing through these. Sound quality. Just putting things out there, I wasn't very pleased about the sound quality of the Gen 1 AirPods Pro. It was a bit too thinny and does not have enough of a lower frequency kick. The Gen 2 on the other hand is very different. It features more of a full-bodied sound that still has an emphasis on vocals as per Apple's traditional signature with all their AirPods, right? And of course, we'll talk about this in greater detail. Before I start to talk about bass, on a TWS earphone with ANC, bass is rather tricky to do as ANC often relies on the bass frequencies for cancellation. Basically, a microphone samples the surrounding ambient sound frequencies and later the processor applies anti-phase on these ambient frequencies that cancels out the ambient frequencies. This, of course, is done through the driver of the TWS, and this kinda affects the way it produces sound in those frequencies somewhat. Now, bass on the Gen 2 is adequately dynamic. I was certainly hoping that it hits harder, but understanding how important ANC is to the whole experience, dynamics on the bass is certainly enough for me. No kick in the chest, but certainly good enough. On the whole, texture of the bass is good as you can get the nice little nuances such as the resonance of the kick drums in the mix that has realistic speed. It is reasonably fast as well, but I do wish for a little bit better definition on bass. Mid-range, including vocals, are the highlight of the Gen 2. Actually, to me, most of Apple earphones do have a slight emphasis here. There is an organicness in terms of the tone here, vocals sound natural with just a kiss of warmth, which is a classic formula that many would like. There are good levels of detail despite the bandwidth limitations of Bluetooth. I do hear the slight resonance in voices as well, which is impressive for a Bluetooth earphone. Instruments such as electric guitars have a good spot in the mix when riffs are played. I never found the AirPods 2 to be overly congested. The biggest surprise for me on the Airpods Pro Gen 2 was that it's actually adequately airy. Extension on these are actually decent without the treble frequencies becoming like sandpaper to my ears. Crash and cymbals have actually really good bite. But really though, the way it renders treble impressed me, as this airiness that you experience is quite out of the norm in the TWS realm. Soundstage. For the Airpods Pro Gen 2, they do have a spatial audio feature, but this section of Soundstage is not part of that, but it's just how it performs when it comes to music. I will talk about spatial audio in a separate section. In terms of width and height, for TWS, the Airpods Pro are wide sounding with good height characteristics. They still lag somewhat compared to wide IEMs in a similar price range, but heck, it is pretty good for a TWS. Depth and positioning. For TWS, depth and positioning, it's also rather good. I found myself wanting better separation between instruments from time to time, but I'm willing to forego that for the sake of convenience. Now, moving on to spatial audio. Now this impressed me greatly, especially when I'm using the Airpods Pro Gen 2 while watching Netflix. You get directional sound when watching in relation to where your screen is, so in a way, it sounds kind of like normal speakers coming through your iPad or iPhone. There is an interesting separation on the layers of sound while watching shows, and this is one that needs to be experienced. This adds a whole new level of depth while watching Netflix, and I really enjoy this feature. And in conclusion, I found the Airpods Pro Gen 2 to be a very solid option in the world of TWS audio. These are my top choice when it comes to consuming movies on the go. Spatial audio is a feature that sets itself apart from the competition. For music listening, I think that the AirPods Pro Gen 2 is a good option, especially when it comes to vocals and airiness. I just wish for it to have a little bit more dynamics. There are better TWS earphones out there if you want a serious listen. But Apple does an amazing job integrating the AirPods Pro 2 with different devices. You can literally just use it on an iPhone and later swap to an iPad without fumbling with any buttons or whatnot. It is actually an extremely seamless process. For people in the Apple ecosystem, this is a no-brainer first pair of true wireless earphones, but I would suggest getting a better sounding pair strictly for music a little later. Thank you so much for watching the Super Audio Show. If you like the content so far, please kindly press the like and subscribe button down below. And if you like the little prank that we did just now to the poor person, yeah, she wants to punch me, so as you can see, it's quite terrible. So yeah, please press that and you'll see more of such content soon. Please press the like and subscribe button, it helped me out a lot. You guys are 5-star people. Bye guys! Yeah, that.
Cat, go away.
Okay, bye.